Good morning, students. Welcome back to your economics class with your economics teacher Lakshmi Vyas. Today, we are going to start a new chapter which is unemployment in Indian economy. We'll complete this entire chapter in the single video, so there is no subparts. This is the very first and the last part of this chapter. Before going in detail, let us see the area of discussion. This is a small chapter. Here we will discuss the meaning of unemployment, different types of unemployment, different causes of unemployment, and the programs which are adopted by the government of India to generate employment in Indian economy after 2000 year. So let us start with the very first subtopic, meaning of unemployment. Unemployment, that means no employment. Unemployment in reality is taken in the sense of involuntary unemployment. That means a situation when people are willing to work at the existing wage rate but are unable to find work. That means if I want to work and still I'm not getting any job, then I am unemployed. So, unemployment's definition is it is a situation when there are some able bodied person who have the ability to work and are willing to work at the prevailing wage rate but are not able to find work which may yield them some regular income. There are some keywords here. First is able bodied person. That means the person who is trying for whom we are talking is able to work. Secondly is there is willingness. So who have the ability to work and are willing to work. That means whatever is the existing wage rate, the person is willing to work with that. But still the condition is that there is no job, or even if there is some job, that is not regular work. So irregular income is also considered as a type of unemployment, which is called underemployment. So unemployment is that situation when people who are willing to work and able to work but still they are not getting any job. It can be voluntarily, it can be involuntarily, but involuntary really not working is considered as unemployed. Now, there is one important point to note that when we talk about unemployed worker, we only refer to those people who are in the working age group. Working age group is 15 to 60 years. Children below 15 years and old age persons beyond 60 years of age are not part of workforce. So they are excluded from the workforce and hence we cannot call them unemployed. So this is the basic introduction about unemployment. Next is types of unemployment in India. If we want to discuss the types of unemployment, basically we can divide them into two categories, rural unemployment and urban unemployment. There are different kinds of classifications for unemployment, but in Indian economy we can consider them into two different varieties. One is rural, for rural India. Another type which is existing in the urban area is called urban unemployment. Under the category of rural unemployment there are three types. One is disguised unemployment, second is seasonal unemployment, and the third one is educated unemployment. On the other hand, urban unemployment can be further classified into open unemployment, underemployment, educated unemployment, technological unemployment, and seasonal unemployment. More importantly, if someone is asking you that whether educated unemployment and seasonal unemployment, where do they exist more? Since in the chart itself you can see that seasonal and educated are written in both the parts, be it rural or urban. Specifically, if you want to see, then seasonal unemployment is belonging to rural category and educated unemployment is belonging to urban category. Why? Because agriculture is seasonal and that is related to rural. On the other hand, educated people are more available in urban sector. So educated unemployment is basically more for urban India. Let us discuss each one of them separately. First of all, we are going to discuss not any one of them. The very first which we are going to discuss is unemployment in developed economy. Then we will move toward this explanation. In developed economy, there are two main types of unemployment. One is cyclical unemployment, second is frictional unemployment. Cyclical unemployment is associated with the downswing and depression phase of business cycle. We know that a business cycle consists of four different phases. Names are prosperity, depression, recession, and recovery. So, during the depression and downswing phase, when there is no demand, there is aggregate demand is very less. During that, income falls, and this lowers the demand for goods and services, and as a result, aggregate demand is not sufficient to purchase the entire output that can be produced with full employment of the labor force. Therefore, production will be less than the full employment output, and as a result, a large number of labor force will remain unemployed. So, basically, this cyclical unemployment is there in the situation of the depression situation of business cycle. The second type is frictional unemployment. Frictional unemployment exists when there is lack of adjustment between the demand for and supply of labor force. In modern dynamic economy, constant changes keep on taking place. People leave jobs for many reasons, and it takes time to find a new job because of the lack of knowledge and mobility on the part of the labor. This gives rise to a temporary unemployment of those workers who are moving between the jobs. So, frictional unemployment arises when this existing worker changes job. Now, frictional unemployment may take place due to several other reasons as well. For example, it may take due to a change in demand. It may also occur due to economic progress when old industry contract and new industries come up. Since labor cannot be immediately shifted from the declining to expanding industry, frictional unemployment may occur. So what we need to say is frictional unemployment is a temporary phenomenon, and hence presence of this should not be considered as a weakness of the economy. It may occur in the Indian economy as well, since it is growing economy. However, the extent of such unemployment in India is very small. So, frictional and cyclical unemployment may arise mainly in developed countries. The nature of unemployment in underdeveloped country is different. As I already told you all that there are some other types like disguised, seasonal, educated, unemployment kind of a situations. So let us move toward unemployment in India. That will start with disguised unemployment. Disguised unemployment is a situation when the number of workers engaged in a job is more than actually required to do the given work. Yes, unemployment is not open for everyone to see. We cannot see who is unemployed. This type of unemployment is not visible but is concealed or hidden. It is not possible to identify as who is unemployed, as everyone seems to be employed. This kind of unemployment is mostly prevails in rural areas like agriculture. Unemployment takes place in the form of work sharing. That means a given work is shared among a large number of workers than required. For example, if a family is working for agricultural sector, then even if I add one more member to the family, then the work will be divided but the output may remain the same. So in such case, the person who is being added is basically unemployed because after his addition there is no change in the output. So his marginal productivity is basically zero. So in that case we can say that the person who is added at the end is disguisedly unemployed. Okay, so disguised unemployment is very important. But there comes a question, why does disguised unemployment occur? It occurs because of four interrelated reasons. Number one, availability of large labor force. Yes, because more people are available, everyone should work. Number two, non-availability of alternative employment opportunity in the sector. So if the people who are living over there the one who is being added to the given work, if the person would have got another opportunity to work, then he or she must have earned something else or something extra. But since there is no extra opportunity, the person is engaged in the same work and adding nothing to the total output. Number 3, agriculture as a family occupation. Just like that, I have given the example. If the family is working for agriculture, one additional member will also do the same. And the last one is small size of holding. So since the size holding is very small, there is nothing can be done to absorb the other labor capacity. The share of work load of the other family members, instead of remaining idle, the person will do that. So disguised unemployment is the predominant form of unemployment in the agriculture sector of developing countries like India. And this type of unemployment is also very chronic. It can only be eliminated through economic development, when more employment opportunities are created in the urban sector as well as the rural sector. Next comes the seasonal unemployment. Seasonal unemployment is a situation when people get work during some days of the month or the year, but not regularly throughout the year, and therefore they are unemployed during some part of the year. It is called seasonal because it occurs during a certain season of the year. Seasonal unemployment arising in particular occupations through seasonal variation in their activity brought about the climatic change. It occurs due to lack of productive work during certain periods of the year in view of seasonal character of certain industry or occupation. In India, if we talk about, it is predominantly associated with agriculture. In India, we know that agriculture offers employment not throughout the year but during some specified time periods because of seasonal characters of agricultural operation. In the peak period of sowing and harvesting, there is such an amount of work that there is scarcity of labor in the villages. As against this period, between the post harvest and before the next sowing, in the lean period, a large number of persons remain without work during this lean period. So seasonal unemployment occurs in certain industries as well, like agro-based industry face this type of problem. For example, a sugar mill may be closed for a number of months in a year as the supply of sugarcane stops. Similarly, in industries, certain industries such as like ice cream industry, seasonal unemployment results in the from seasonal fluctuations in the demand. It has peak demand during the summer. However, in the winter seasons, the demand for ice creams falls, and this leads to fall in the demand of labor engaged in the ice cream production, giving rise to seasonal unemployment. This seasonal unemployment takes place mainly due to the lack of suitable alternative employment opportunity in the slack season. Moreover, seasonal unemployment is independent of the wishes of the worker. It is forced on them because of the fall in the demand during the off season. It is particularly important in India, and the reason is obvious. Agriculture is predominantly seasonal occupation in India. It is the agricultural sector which is mainly affected by large seasonal variations in the demand for agricultural labor because of the use of labor intensive production. So, this is very, very chronic in Indian economy. Moving to the educated unemployment. Educated unemployment refers to unemployment among the educated person. Educational unemployment constitutes a special problem due to two reasons. Educated unemployment involves a great waste of valuable human capital. Educated unemployment are relatively more conscious. Therefore, unemployment among them may take an explosive situation. Why is this arising? Two reasons. Number one, educated unemployment occurs due to rapid expansion of educational facility. Mass education in India is responsible for the emergence of problem. And second, which is more important, is faulty education system. Education system is not related to the available employment opportunity. There is too much emphasis on general education rather than vocational education. So that is not good for the economy as a whole. Next comes technological unemployment. Technological unemployment is the type of unemployment that arises because of the use of labor intensive technique. Labor saving techniques or capital intensive techniques are those techniques which uses more capital and less of labor to produce a given amount of output. And these techniques are used because they are most efficient. Introduction of improved machinery and new techniques has a tendency to displace labor and thereby cause a technological unemployment. Modern production process is essentially characterized by the use of these advanced techniques of production by displacing some of the existing worker and leaving behind a trail of unemployment. In India, there is preponderance of handicrafts industries in its existing industrial sector. Industrialization involves the development of a great variety of modern industry. Many of these industries have emerged by displacing small scale handicraft industry. Thus, large scale technological unemployment may result from the displacement of handicraft worker. Likewise, computerization of banking operations has made the several bank employees redundant. So, technological unemployment is very, very important. Next comes underemployment. What is this underemployment? Underemployment refers to a situation when the employed persons are contributing to the production and income which is less than what they are really capable of. In this situation, people do not get the type of work they are capable of doing or they are trained for. For example, if an automobile engineer takes up a job of an ordinary motor mechanic for want of an appropriate job in a big company, he is said to be underemployed. Apparently, he is employed in a productive activity and thus contributes something to the production and income, but in reality, he is not making full utilization of his capabilities. So, he is not fully employed. In this situation, we can call the person to be underemployed because his capabilities are not fully utilized. Last one given here is open unemployment for urban area. Open unemployment refers to a situation when there are some workers who have absolutely no work to do. They are willing to work at the prevailing wage, but they are forced to remain unemployed in the absence of work. These workers are completely idle. They remain unemployed for the full time. Such unemployment is clearly visible as a number of such employed persons can be counted, hence, it is called open unemployment. Open unemployment is to be found largely in urban areas and to a very limited extent in the rural area. So, children, these are the different types of unemployment which we have discussed already, and each one of them is equally important. So, you have to prepare each one of them. You cannot leave any one because in the short question you can get any specific type of unemployment to be explained. Moving to the next part, which is causes of unemployment. Yes, why so much unemployed people are there? Why people are not getting job? The first reason is low rate of economic growth. Rate of economic growth determines the rate at which new jobs are created. So the job opportunities created under each 5-year plan have fallen short of the job requirements of the growing labor force. Unfortunately, non-agricultural sector, particularly the modern industrial sector, is growing at a very slow pace. This has led to not only an open unemployment but has put more pressure on land, resulting in disguised unemployment in agriculture as well. So, rate of growth of economy is very low, and now in this pandemic condition we are seeing that the Indian economy is growing with a negative rate growth. So that is a negative impact for the economy, and that is very responsible for the high rate of unemployment in India. The second cause is low growth rate of agriculture. It is very important for unemployment in India because the large portion of population is still working under agriculture. Lack of multiple cropping and excessive pressure of population on the land have added to the problem of seasonal and disguised unemployment in agricultural sector. So, since agriculture in India is not growing with a very good rate, people are unemployed with a very large extent. Number three is low rate of capital formation. Yes, it is another factor responsible for unemployment. Low rate of capital formation has hindered the growth potentiality in the agriculture and industrial sector. Growth of agriculture and industry sector has been hampered by non-availability of machines, power, transport and essential raw materials. Consequently, job creation capability of agriculture and industry have been affected adversely. Next is rapid population growth. Rapid population growth. Yes, the growth of population. First is there are two reasons for that. First, rapid population growth has directly added to the problem of unemployment by making large addition to the labor force. In other words, it has increased the supply of labor. Secondly, the rapid population growth has reduced the resources for capital formation. More people means more expenditure on consumer goods and on the provision of other various facilities like water, electricity, medical facility and education. And this has reduced the saving and investment and thereby has retarded the increase in job opportunity. Number 5 is use of capital intensive techniques. As we have already discussed, technological unemployment. This is again the same thing. Capital intensive techniques obviously generate less employments and the labor remains unused, creating a problem of unemployment. Number 6 is defective education system. Our education system is also responsible for the problem of unemployment. Education is still based on traditional liberal lines. It is not related to the growing developmental needs of the country. It lays more emphasis on the general education rather than vocational education and technical education. It produces more generalists than like clerks, lower level of executives, government servants rather than technocrats. It is this factor which is responsible for growing educated unemployment. We have already discussed this in that part. Number 7 is inadequate employment planning. Yes. Low priority has been given to employment objective in the plans. Till recently, the employment objective was not quantified as a time bounded program. In fact, planning in India has not been employment oriented. The wage rate policy and appreciated policy with regarded as techniques etc. have not been seriously used to solve the problem of unemployment. Moving to the next point, which is weak manpower planning. Just like the same one, manpower planning means to proper balancing between various fields like doctors, engineers, administrators, business executives, etc. There have been significant imbalance in different spheres of education, trained personnel, but not much has been done to overcome these imbalances. Number 9 is failure to develop projects providing large employment. The plans have not really been successful in developing projects which have large employment potential. For example, the plans have not done well in developing flood control, drainage, anti waterlogging, rural electrification, and other employment generating activity. Similarly, the plans have not placed due emphasis on the development of various schemes related to irrigation, soil conservation, development of dairies, fisheries, etc. Number 10 given over here is decline in of cottage and small scale industry. A number of traditional villages and cottage industry have declined over the years due to change in the demand and emergence of more efficient modern industries. Therefore, a large number of people left their traditional jobs. This has been an important reason for rural unemployment in India. Number 11 is migration of rural population. There has been large scale migration of people from rural to urban due to inadequate employment opportunity in the rural area and higher wage in the urban area. But jobs are not available in urban areas. So this has increased the urban unemployment in India. The largest one given here is labor laws. The government has been protecting the existing worker and their exploitation with the help of Minimum Wage Act, Workers' Compensation Act, and other laws. High wages have kept the demand for labor at a low level, and as a result, people who have not got any opportunity till date are not even getting the opportunities because the existing workers are has been protected from the government because of these laws. So overall we can say that there are so many causes for responsible for high rate of unemployment in Indian economy. Moving to the next subpart, employment generating programs. Children, in our scope we have the employment generating programs after year 2000. So there are some many other programs as well which we will not discuss because they are before 2020, 2000 years, sorry. In order to generate more program, in order to solve the employment unemployment problem, Indian economy has so many plans. Government have formed different kinds of policies. There are some long run remedies for unemployment as well, like whatever causes we have seen, the solution of those are there. For example, high rate of economic growth should be there, increasing investment should be there, sector should be developed, rural industrialization should be done, creation of self employment opportunities has to be done, there should be employment for the educated people, manpower planning is required. So there are many long term and short term goals as well, like educational reforms, controlling the population growth, so on and so forth. But what we have in our scope is employment generating programs. Over and above the measures which we will reduce the unemployment in the long run and provide ultimate solution to the problem, there are some employment generation programs adopted by the Government of India. Some of the important specific programs initiated by the government to remove the unemployment are discussed here, which are in your syllabus. The very first I have written here is Sampurna Gramin Rojgar Yojana. This was launched in 2001 to provide wage employment along with the food security to rural areas. Children, as I already told you in the chapter of poverty, again here you need to learn the short form and the long form of the program and what was the main objective of that. So, SGRY is Sampurna Gramin Rojgar Yojana. Next is Prime Minister's Rojgar Yojana, PMRY, started in the year 2001. It is a scheme aimed at helping educated unemployed youth in establishing self-employment units in industries, service and business sector. So that is what you need to learn here. Number 3 is very important. We have already discussed this in our program, in our poverty alleviation programs. This is Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. Previously the name was Narega, now it has changed to Manrega. Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. Manrega was implemented from February 2006 in 200 selected districts of the country. Subsequently, the scheme was extended to all the rural districts of the country in 2008-9. It would subsume other current public employment programs. The program involves both the central and the state governments. The central government provides the required fund to run the program, while the state governments are in charge of implementing it. Next one is Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana. This scheme aims at providing meaningful, industrial, relevant, skill-based training in Indian youth and helping them in securing a job. PMKVY was launched in July 2015. It would ensure that the youth of India are trained for respective skills so as to earn a better living thereby. It would be helpful both to unemployed and self-employed people. The target is to benefit 24 lakh youths across the country 4.38 lakh youth had successfully completed training throughout India till January 2016. Next one is Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gramin Kaushalya Yojana. This is a placement linked skill development program scheme for rural youth who are poor. 1.75 lakh youth have been trained and 0.6 lakh of them were placed during 2015-16 under this scheme. The last one is Skill India program. It is a multi-skill India program launched in March 2015. It aims at providing training and skill for various occupations, both traditional like carpenters, weavers, as well as a new occupation like real estate, textile, gem, and jewelry. This program will help in getting more employment and improving in entrepreneurship, leading to an improvement in economic conditions. It aims at developing the skills of 500 million youth of rural and urban areas by 2020. So these employment programs are very useful and cost effective programs in generating income and employment for the poor people. Besides, public employment programs have positive effects on rural sector. So this was it from this chapter, children. I have already told you all what are the things you need to do. In the book, the chapter, many other things are given which are not there in your scope. So this is it what you need to prepare. Meaning of unemployment, types of unemployment, causes of unemployment, and measures to remove this unemployment. The specific programs I have already mentioned, you just need to do only this much. Thank you so much. Take care of yourself and complete the assignments given over here. Thank you.